You got to fall deep. Y'all, one of the reasons, and pay attention to this part, this is one of the key elements of where I'm going today, and I'm not going to be before you long. One of the reasons that you have to fall in love with him is so that you can be receptive to the way he moves on your behalf. Let me say this again. One of the reasons you have to fall in love with him is so that you can be receptive to the way that he moves on your behalf. Because when he begins to move in ways that you are not familiar with, you will reject his touch because you haven't let him into that secret place. How many of y'all know that everybody can't touch you the same way? That's why it's up for you. It's up to you to fall in love with him so that you can be receptive to his move and his ways. Because when he begins to touch you, oh my God, in places and areas that you're not familiar with, you will reject his touch because you haven't let him into that secret place. Now, we're going to be grown for a minute. How many of y'all grown in here? That's why all the kids is in there. Now, we're going to be grown for a minute. The woman of God said, get grown, Pastor. Well, look here. We're going to be grown for a minute. Like I said earlier, everybody can't touch you everywhere. There are certain places that only a certain person can touch. Are you mature today? Are you spiritually mature? Is your mind wondering? We bind and rebuke the devil right now. If the enemy wants to steal this moment, I'm talking about spiritually, amen, but you can correlate it to the natural. Y'all know, y'all listen, the devil didn't put so much on us. You can call power last night. You watched everything here, and I know where your mind is going. But we're going to be spiritually grown for a minute. And how many of you all know that not everybody can touch you everywhere? There are certain places that only certain people, that only a certain person can touch. And I'm here to tell you today that there are certain areas in your life that only Jesus can touch and make whole again. Your husband ain't going to be able to do it. Your wife ain't going to be able to do it. That fulfillment of finances is not going to be able to do it. I'm telling you right now, there are certain things down on the inside of you that only Jesus is going to be able to touch. You can try to work 80 hours to forget about it. You're going to come home, lay in that bed at night in agony because you have a yearning down on the inside of you. Any of y'all ever yearned for something? Any of y'all ever had something, my God, listen, I don't know if y'all understand me. Babe, that ain't working. It's something else. Y'all, I've had times where other things weren't working. It's something else. God said, that's me. I hear God so clearly right now. My God, the thing that you're talking about, that's me. That comes from illumination in my word. You have to let me touch you in that area. Some of us don't trust. Oh my God. Listen, we play the role. But y'all, some of us don't trust people. And that's because we went through this life. And let me tell you something. Newsflash, people gonna let you down. I've let my wife down before. And I know y'all ain't gonna believe this. She's let me down. Because people think Chris don't do no wrong. Chris let me down before. And when I went through those certain moments, see, those are the moments you want to give up on everything. I'm done. I'm done. That's when I had to dig into the word. God, you're going to have to touch me because I'm gone. And it wasn't nothing crazy. I'm just a regular guy. I ain't no, let me stop. You're right. I ain't no regular guy. But it wasn't nothing crazy as you might think. But it was crazy enough for me that would have me to disconnect. And God said, man of God, if you don't get in my word, if you don't get in your prayer life, if you don't get into your study life and allow me to touch that area, your marriage is not going to make it. I'm telling you right now, your marriage to Christ is not going to make it if you don't allow God to touch you. You have to allow him into that area. Listen, there's some stubbornness in some people that you just can't deal with. There's some ways about some people you're like, listen, man, I ain't trying to hear all that. I'm sick of all that. You've been talking all that. God, you're going to have to do it because I ain't hearing him no more. You're going to have to do it, Lord, because I ain't hearing her no more. Well, God said, well, let me do it. See, we say let me do it, but do we act on let me do it? Y'all, what's our motto here? We ain't really with that talking. We about that action. Yes, you probably hear it 1,000 times because that's my motto. Bree looking at me like, oh, here you go. You say you're going to let me do it, but will you let him do it? You got to get to a point where you're receptive to his touch, and that comes from intimacy with him. This is why I say you got to fall in love with him, because a stranger cannot come up and touch you in your intimate place. That's rape. You will reject him. You'll scream out. You'll kick it. You'll buck against it. I don't know you like that. Listen, if a stranger probably can't even put his arm around you. Hey, baby girl, hold on. What are you doing? I don't know you. Y'all, this is what I used to do. How I used to holler at girls. See, we couldn't slide in no DMs in the 90s. We couldn't go straight to the direct message. We couldn't look at all your pictures, see if we like you, see what you live, what you do. All right, I'll pick this one. Y'all got it good. We couldn't do that. We had to walk around River Oaks, and we had to look. Then we blocked. We had to walk around. Then we okay, she cute. She got her girls with her. And guess what you had to have? You had to have something with a C and a U and an O. And an R, the A-G-E, maybe I spelled it wrong. C-O-U-R. You had to have courage. You had to get up, put a gum in your mouth, brush your hair, blow your chest up. Hey, how you doing? What you doing? You a little shopping or something? You had to find a way to make conversation, y'all. You had to have courage. But let me tell you what I used to do. I used to like to grab a woman's hand. Strangers. That was my, but it was the cold. It was cold game. She'd be in there shopping, doing whatever. I'll come right past, grab her hand. Hey, how you doing? And listen, they so shocked by the fact that you're bold enough to touch me. Excuse you, you can do it. Oh, there you go, I'm TK, what's up? And there you go. But some people, do that with him. Grab the young lady and say, security! He's trying to, no, wait, hold on. I was trying to get to know you. He's trying to rob me. No, I'm not. Because everybody you can't touch like that. I'm here to tell you, you can't allow everybody to touch on you. You have to get to the point where you know that God and only God can heal that secret and intimate place. Too many people touch you. You in 75 different prayer lines. Let's talk about it. Do pastors have sin too? Do ministers go through things too? Or you think because church big you can just hop in that prayer line? Or you think because the scripture even tells us to lay hands on no man suddenly. It has to be ordained by God. It has to be a particular atmosphere. I have to ask you for permission, woman of God. Can I lay hands on you? But what happens is, y'all, we end up prostituting ourselves because we want something so bad that we'll let everybody touch us. You can't go to everybody's church because there's some spirits that's going to jump off on you. And my God, you're going to need a touch. So God says, you have to fall in love with me. So that when I engage you and when I touch you, you can be receptive. You won't block me. You won't run away from me. Y'all, there are people that they ask for God to move on their behalf. They ask for God to elevate them. And then God begins to wake them up at night and give them dreams. And God begins to unction them. And they begin to feel the pains of other people. And that's God using them. And guess what? They shy away. Because, God, I'm not used to you moving like this. Y'all be having chest pains so bad. I said, wait a minute. I eat salmon I eat salmon, egg, avocado, and a glass of cranberry juice almost every morning. And if that ain't there, I'll have cereal or whatever. But y'all, that's what I eat. I eat for a specific reason. Salmon got omega-3s, it's got protein, it's good for the eyes. Eggs is protein, avocados is healthy fats. Glass of cranberry juice to keep the kidneys right. That's what I drink, and I take a men's multivitamin every day. Why is my chest hurting? God says, I'm using you. God says, I'm causing you to feel somebody. So instead of you just laying down all the time, I didn't lay down, my chest hurt. Why don't you ask, who do I need to pray for? Maybe God is touching you in a particular way. And because you're not familiar with how he's trying to touch you, guess what? You reject it. Every time you get afflicted or you feel something, it ain't always about you. Every time you feel dangerous, God may be unctioning you to pray for somebody else. That's why you got to fall in love with him so you can recognize his touch. I said, I've been trying to touch you since forever. You've been calling out. You've been crying for me. God used me. God touched me. But you don't know me. So when I touch you, you don't respond. And that's why we sit in church with the boo-boo face. What's going on? I said, I've been touching you all week trying to prepare you for Sunday. I said, I've been trying to prepare you for the warfare on Sunday all week. But you got to let him touch you. Look at your neighbor and say, let him touch you. The Bible says in Matthew 11:28, I just caught that. Men, don't look at another man and say, let him touch you. We all saved here, amen. The Bible says in Matthew 11:28, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I'll do what? I'll give you rest, y'all. His petition to give you rest because of your burden is a show of compassion towards you, and that comes from a place of love for you, you all. So let me tell you something. Let me say that again. His petition to give you rest, when he says, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest. That petition, because of your burdens, shows his compassion towards you initially. And that comes from a place of love for you. That's why the Bible says we love him because he's first loved us. So God already, before you even knew who he was, I loved you enough to give you a way out. I loved you enough to give you a way of escape. I've loved you enough to lighten the load for you. Then in verse 29, he says, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart. You will find rest in your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. My God, don't that sound like some type of romantic quote or something? Wait a minute. Let me say that again. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart. And you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy. And look at, she fall in love with God. Yes, she is, Lord. She fall in love with God right now. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now, y'all, let me tell you something. A yoke is a device that's used for joining something together. So when he says, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, that means that Jesus is literally inserting himself into your situation. A yoke, again, is something that binds two things together. You can put two calves together, two bulls, two whatever. So when he says, take my yoke and learn from me, he is inserting himself in your situation. In other words, Jesus is saying to you, I love you so much, follow me. I know it's hard, but if you connect with me, I'll show you how to do it. That's what he's saying. Listen, take my yoke. Connect yourself with me. Let me show you how to do this thing. Let me show you how to walk this walk. Let me show you how to join that church and be effective. Let me show you how to go into that community and get results. Let me tell you how to listen to the people. Let me show you how to be active. Watch this. Learn from me. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Then he says, y'all, this is the part I love. This is the part that just sweeps me off my feet about God. He says, for I am gentle and I'm lowly in heart. That means he ain't puffed up with pride. That means he knows how to handle you. Listen, for I'm gentle. Ladies, y'all don't want a man with a rough touch, do y'all? Huh? Y'all don't want a man with rough hands, do you? Listen, I started to work. She said, listen, I like to work out without workout gloves. I like to use wrist wraps. And my hands get calloused right here. So, how can I say this? When I spend time with my wife, I make sure that my hands are lotioned up because she doesn't like a rough touch. He says, for I am gentle and I'm lowly in heart, meaning I know specifically how and where to touch you in your situation. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. The gentleness and lowliness of heart speaks to the gentleman that Christ is and his ability to woo all whom he pursues. In other words, he's not just asking you to follow him for nothing. He's assuring you of one of the benefits of what a union with him would look like. This is why he says, listen, if you follow me, you're going to find rest for your soul. Listen, y'all, he's talking that intelligent, romantic talk to you spiritually. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. So he's assuring you of one of the benefits of what a union with him will look like. Now, fellas, ain't that how we do when we romancing a woman we want to marry?